All right, hello and welcome to AA episode 33, Answering Atheism episode 33. We are essentially a third of the way to 100 after this one. Quite nice. Although the remaining one is a fraction. But also thanks for tuning in here today. We don't have the fancy shirt and tie this time, but nonetheless, it is still quite a joy for me to speak in this casual discussion today based upon an atheist comment that I've selected from off the internet, which includes my notes to guide me along for the sake of time. And I'd like to dish out a verse so we get started on the right track. Then we'll get to the comment. So, Jeremiah 17:9. The heart is deceitful above all things and desperately wicked. Who can know it? Alright, let's get to the comment. I don't think we're going to have to worry about time this time. I think we're going to be able to wrap this up rather fast. But anyhow, ready for the comment? Ready. How did penguins get from the Antarctic to the Middle East and then back again? Now he's referring to around the flood. Sometimes the problem lies within the question, or there's a problem with the question itself, and I think that's the case here. Essentially, the answer is they didn't, which we'll clarify in but a moment. But I would like to also throw in the question, was Noah, within this kind of a thing, was Noah essentially the original Ash Ketchum of Pokemon? Pretty interesting question. So we'll kind of cover, I think we'll try and cover both. Alright, so penguins from Antarctica to Middle East back to Antarctica. That is not the creationist position. But phenomenal question, though. I love it when atheists ask great questions like this. This is a very, very great question. So, the more accurate line of thinking of this would be, there's kind of three components. There's the pre-flood component, the flood component, and the post-flood component. The pre-flood component is what everybody's familiar with, a Pangea type of concept, that pre-flood, pre-global flood, Genesis, I think around Genesis 8, that the world had essentially one continent, one supercontinent. So all of the ones we have now would have been one unified continent. So a single bit of earthly land. The flood is key in this. The global flood is key in this. Massive geological components going on there, chaos, a breaking up of things, and splitting the continent, dividing it up. And then for that, you have the aftermath of it, which is the post-flood continents. The waters recede. You have the post-flood continents, which we have now. We didn't have Antarctica then, before, pre-flood. We have it now, type of a deal. So that's the problem with the question. So yeah, now we have the continents, and they're moving slowly all over the board. So the Pangea concept with the ark. So given the Pangea component, the penguins did not have to go from Antarctica to Middle East. Plus, what's also implied in there is that they had to go to the Middle East. Who knows where they had to go, because the pre-flood world was destroyed. So the things back then might not be the same now. A couple rivers might be named the same for different reasons. Maybe it reminded of the pre-flood rivers or something like that. But they're not the same. They're not the same. And then what's interesting is Pangea getting divided up into the continents, which are later to be filled with the divided nations post-Babel, around 100 years after the flood, already rebelling against God that fast. So now we have Antarctica, and it could be that the penguins could go from the ark to Antarctica. Genesis 8:19 through 20. Let's get this key. And of every living thing of all flesh, 2 of every sort shalt thou bring into the ark to keep them alive with thee. They shall be male and female. Now here's where it gets into something key. Of fowls after their kind, and of cattle after their kind, of every creeping thing of the earth after his kind. 2 of every sort shall come unto thee to keep them alive. Okay, so boiling it down, was Noah the original Ash Ketchum of Pokemon? Pokemans. That implies nay. Noah did not have to go all over Pangea even, let alone Antarctica and all the other continents. North America, Africa, Asia, all that. So that would have been mission impossible. A great marketing concept for that franchise, but gotta catch them all, then make it near impossible to catch them all. Great marketing concept, but not viable. They had to build the ship. They had to build the ark, not be running around playing Pokemon, Ash Ketchum style. Got to catch them all, bring them to the ark. No, God brought them to the ark. God directed the animals to the ark, brought them unto him, and then from there, at the ark, they bring them in. So, now, whatever way God did that, who knows? Could be he just took control of the animals. Could be he directed them through whatever of their instincts. He could have even, teleported them. Who knows? I doubt that part, but who knows? So, we have one Pangea continent, which is easier access to all the animal kinds which God had brought to Noah. Noah didn't have to go play Ash Ketchum Pokemon style. So it was all one united continent. So the penguins just had to go from Pangea to Pangea, just elsewhere on Pangea, or the penguin kind. Then you have the penguin kind surviving the global flood. Global flood, not local flood. That's local flood is hocus pocus. So global flood, which was God's judgment on sin and how bad things got pre-flood. And then we have post-flood. The fear of man getting, I think, put into the animals. Post-flood. So from that point, they spread out. So from that point, the mountains of Ararat, or wherever it was, I think it says mountains of Ararat, not necessarily the mountain of Ararat, but the mountains of Ararat, where the ark rested. So from that point, all they had to do was go from there to wherever their habitat would be. So they would go from Middle East to Antarctica. Did they walk? Did they fly? Did God teleport them? Who knows? I think some penguins can't fly. Or most or all, something like that. Would be interesting. Ironing out the penguin kind. Maybe the more along the lines of the original penguin kind type of bird. Maybe they could fly really well. Who knows? But anyhow, in conclusion, the gospel. And we did this video pretty quick, but why not get saved? And trust in what God did for you at the cross 2,000 years ago, dying sinless in our place and rising again the third day in the second person of the Trinity, Jesus, so that you can be forgiven of sin and live with him forever rather than apart. Long time ago I accepted that. I accepted that greatest deal. So as an atheist, there is infinite to gain in becoming a Christian. So, very good stuff. So, we wrap this one up in like a third or a fourth of the time it usually takes us. So, anyhow, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. Next time, episode 34 and 35. So, we'll get those wrapped up too. So, anyhow, I love doing this. I'm like the Disney character, the one duck that has like the giant vault of gold, except the gold is a collection of atheist comments. I love doing this, and I want to do it more often and be selfless rather than selfish. I would love to be at 7,000 of these, but unfortunately, I spent my time elsewhere. So, ideally, I want to catch up, and for that, we have to try and cut down our video, the quantity of time in our videos, which we'll see. This one, we succeeded. So, I want to be cranking out like 5-minute videos, many 5-minute videos. Do these in 5 minutes tops. So, anyhow, thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for more. I will see you up ahead. As always, take care cool.